We have a press briefing for you from 8th May to 15th May 2022. A total number of 411 accidents were registered during this period, and out of these, 49 were fatal accidents, 237 were serious accidents, 125 were minor. The victims: there were 437 victims in these accidents, and out of these, 73 people died and 364 sustained injuries. Each accident that we register is unique and it is investigated separately. And on that ground, the accident that happened at Bukoma Nsimbi of 14th May 2022 at around 12:50, that's Medide, along Masaka Bukoma Nsimbi Road at Kaoko, it was involving a Fuso truck, UAX 226U. This truck overturned, it killed 8 people on spot and injured 27 people who were taken to hospitals. What did we find out as traffic police? The road condition was good, with many bends, which necessitated a slow speed than what the driver could have been driving at that time. When the road has many turnings, you should not drive beyond 50 because it's easy to overturn the car at that point. So this driver didn't comply with the speed regulation vis-a-vis the nature of the road. Number 2, the weight of the load on that car must have contributed to the carnage or the cause of the accident because it was loaded with goods of these market vendors. Number 3 that we established, the driver was a hired one. He was just hired on that day. Take these people to the market. Number 4, the testimonies from the casualties in the hospital, they tell us that when they were moving to the market, they know where the patrol car parks. They were offloaded off the truck. They walked past the patrol car. They were loaded on the vehicle again, which started speeding and overturned before reaching the Bukoma Nsimbi checkpoint. That means they got the injury between the patrol car and the Bukoma Nsimbi checkpoint. But they themselves confess they were offloaded off, past the patrol car, loaded again. And on this ground, we appeal to the public. Avoid that behavior of being offloaded. It happens when they carry you excess in the car and they know where the checkpoint is. They offload you people, put you on the motorcycles, you move ahead. After passing the checkpoint, they board you again in the car. You're risking your own life. That's when we advise you to use our toll-free number. Please, we should impound these cars before they take your lives. Also in our findings, as of today, we have 8 people registered dead in that accident. Those are the people we've registered with names and details. There are 8 dead people in this accident. And the number of people who are in the hospital are 27. On spot, 6 died. On reaching hospital, 1 died immediately, another one died in the theater. That's how the 8 come about. So the owner of this truck has been tasked to produce that person he hired to drive people for the first time on that road. Remember, he doesn't know the road. He's driving people for the first time. Maybe even doesn't know the behavior of the truck, ending up taking lives of others. We also advise those who transport market vendors, let these market vendors move in the PSV cars. The PSV cars are the taxis, buses, and coasters. They are the vehicles that are licensed in this country to move passengers. Trucks are not allowed to carry people. They very well know that they are doing a mistake. So what do? When they know there is police, they do the right thing. After passing the police, they load them on the cars. This vice should stop, and we have to fight this together with you. We also had an accident on the same day that happened at Bujenja. That is Hoima Road, Hoima Masind Road. The place is called Bujenja. It happened when the sugarcane cutters, they were loaded on a Fuso truck. That happened on 14th May 2022 at around 5 a.m. in the morning. They were going to cut sugarcane. So the vehicle failed to negotiate a corner, overturned and killed 5 on spot. You see the same thing, they are carrying people on a luggage truck. What happens is you're vulnerable on this truck. You don't have any guard. You're thrown off the car in case of anything. So we lost 5 lives on that day and 20 people were admitted. So we should fight the vice of carrying people on trucks. Trucks are not allowed to carry people. And on that note, traffic police reminds the management of the sugar factories to have a means of transporting their sugarcane employees. You know those cutters who got the farms and cut the sugarcane? They tend to carry them on the trucks and on the tractors. They should come up with another way of moving them rather than using the trucks and the tractors for their own safety, because we are losing more lives on the roads. Also that same week, we registered some accidents, but they had almost the same cause, and it's a tire burst. The first accident happened on 8th May 2022 at 1440 in Imbarara, where we have a taxi, a UAZ 562G. It was on social media running. That taxi had the tire burst and injured 6 people. 6 people. On 12th May, at Nakasongola at 10:45, a taxi UBJ 707G had the tire burst, injured 5 people. On 13th May 2022, at 18:15 at Sanga, a canter had the tire burst, UBH 462M. There was an oncoming RAV4 from the opposite direction. So when this car had the tire burst, it was ramming off the road. To avoid the head-on collision, the RAV4 also went on the other side. So both vehicles overturned on the opposite side, injuring 4 people. Tire burst. On 13th May still, at 1500 hours in Mubende, a taxi UBG 984U had the tire burst and injured 3 people. On 14th May 2022 at 1400 hours in Ibudaka, a taxi UBK 522X had a tire burst and injured 8 people. On 14th still, May 2022, at 1500 hours in Ipakwachi, a Super Custom UBE 233P had a tire burst and injured 3 people. On 15th May, at 1700 hours, that's yesterday, in Impigi, a taxi had the tire burst UBJ 231G and injured 5 people. You see the trend. That's why at the start I told you these accidents are investigated independently because they have different cause of accidents. On Wednesday 11th May 2022, at around 11:54, we registered a fire incident. It was a fire incident. I saw you people reporting it as a fatal accident. It's a fire incident where the ambulance that is attached to Kasese, belonging to Ministry of Health, number UG 4191M, was transporting a patient from Kasese to Chirudu Hospital. Findings showed that the gas opened, the fire came out, burned 2 people, they died on spot, injured 3 with serious injuries of wounds of fire. They are admitted in the hospital. So that's not a fatal accident, that's a fire incident. On Thursday 12th May 2022, at around 1900 hours, at Katwe Najanankumbi Entebbe Road, we registered a serious accident involving UAV 628K. This is a Mitsubishi Canter. It's a low bed. It was carrying a grader on it. It reaches this part of Najanankumbi. It fails to brake. So in the process, it hits UBA 095H, a Rosa Costa, puts it off the road to the trench, goes ahead and hits UAR 711D, a Toyota Oppa. It hits pedestrians, it hits the rail guard, it hits the solar light poles, it goes ahead and hits the Cure Medical Center building. That's where it rested. So in that process, that Mitsubishi Canter, the low bed that was carrying a grader, ended up injuring 7 people. 6 on spot. Later we realized there was the 7th person. So the number comes to 7 people who got injured in that one accident. That's the video you see running on social media, where someone saying it is happening now at Entebbe Road. No, it happened on 12th May in the evening. It's not now. We advise the drivers to repair their cars. Ensure your vehicle is roadworthy before putting it on the road. We shall remind you forever, because this car is yours. Work on the car. Don't wait for the police officer to make you work on that car. If you know that the vehicle doesn't have tires, don't put it on the road. If you know the lights are not working, don't take the vehicle to the road. If the wipers are faulty, it's a rain season. Work on the car. If the brakes have an issue, don't say it's me who knows how to drive my car. I'll use my car. Something can happen and another person has to drive that car, and they don't know how the brakes work. So in the process, we shall have carnage. So we advise people to make sure they work on their cars, ensure the car is roadworthy before putting it on the road. Then also respect road signages. You look at the nature of the road, even if the road sign was stolen off. But if you start seeing corners, please reduce the speed. A 30 is not bad, 50. We don't look at the size of the car. Let's look at the nature of the road and the signage on that road. We can fight that carnage. The other issue is reckless driving. Stop drinking and driving. Stop speeding. These two have taken lives, yet we can't do it without them. Who can't stay without drinking and driving? Any of you? You can drive without drinking. Drink. Don't refuse you to drink, but make sure you get someone to drive you. Don't drink and drive. When it comes to speeding, let's respect the signages. Police, bring UNBS on board to ensure that the quality of tires imported are okay. We've not come to that conclusion because our underground investigation shows people don't buy tires. What they do when a tire gets worn out, they tend to boil it. They say they are boiling a tire. Then they cut. They put it back on the car. They think they are saving, but they are risking their own lives. So UNBS is not on to that. Not until you prove it's UNBS that is the issue here. Because the tire has an expiry date. When we check and it is not expired, then it's out of UNBS. Then the other issue you're asking about periodic inspection of vehicles, it's Ministry of Works responsible for this, not traffic police. Then the other thing, SGS was put in place, but before it kicked off, Parliament came in to do some inquiries. You know, it's on the floor in Parliament. So for the meantime, for us, we do the DMC operations. You're issued a ticket of 60,000 for driving a vehicle which is not in good shape. The vehicle is deregistered, the number plates are taken off. You're given an inspection report to go and work on your car. After you bring back your car for re-inspection at the IOV center, then you get back your number plates if the vehicle is roadworthy. That's how we are handling that. Okay, who has the right of way in the Traffic Act? We have the President, the Vice President, we have the Speaker, his Deputy, Prime Minister, the Deputy, Chief Justice, the Deputy. We have the ambulances, we have the fire brigade, we have the army vehicles on duty, we have the police vehicles on duty, we have the IGG and the deputy, and any other with a lead car. They have a right of way, the Traffic Act. Also, the Traffic Directorate reminds all people to be vigilant on the roads and call on our toll-free line, please. It is 0800 19 90 99. Thank you.